What's up, everybody? Good morning. And our schedule has been jostled a little bit because the Seahawks decided to go rapid fire with all the coach hirings yesterday. And I wanted to take some time to cover all that as good as I could. So things got pushed back a little bit. So instead of doing a free agency video this morning, I want to talk about something that definitely relates to free agency, but isn't a player evaluation video. So those will continue later today. Later today, we'll finish up the right guard stuff and move on to defensive positions. But I do want to take a video to talk about this because this actually could really matter. So a couple days ago, there were some reports coming out speculating what the 2024 salary cap might actually be, because up until now, people have been working with an assumption of what that salary cap is going to be. And the assumption was typically around 242, $243 million. So we've gotten some reports in the last couple days that indicate that is the likely floor, about 242, 243. But there is also becoming increasing reason to believe the cap is going to go beyond that. And I've read some things over the last couple of days that are saying the expectation is more like $250 million, 250 million flat. And that actually changes things a little bit. This affects the upcoming season. This is not a projection look ahead to 2025. This is for this season. So if you're a team like the Seahawks that is right up against the salary cap ceiling as is, this gives you some breathing room that you didn't think you were going to have. And don't get me wrong, there's still a ton of stuff the Seahawks need to do this offseason to clear more cap space. That's the same regardless of whether or not there's this bump to the cap. But this does allow for more freedom in maybe deciding, you know what, we're not ready to move off of Quandre Diggs yet. Or we're not quite ready to part ways with, I don't know what's a good example, somebody like Nick Ballore, if we really, really like having his presence in the locker room. It does open up a little bit of freedom. And it also opens up freedom potentially on the other side where you're trying to spend money in free agency with whatever cap space you're able to create. This gives you non-trivial amounts of additional room to maneuver. I know it's just a few percent, but it matters. So, just to give you guys an idea, if you go over to Spotrac, you will see that the NFL salary cap number they've been assuming is 242.5. So this would represent a boost of about $7.5 million over Spotrac's expected number. And Spotrac is the site that I've been using for salary cap stuff, primarily them and over the cap. So when I've been making videos projecting how much money we're going to spend, how much money we're going to have, what kind of money we're going to create, it's the Spotrac numbers. So you can see that immediately, if this report comes true, that's $7.5 million extra. That could be, I mean, that's most of Leonard Williams, right? That's most of your rookie class. That's significant, very significant. And if this comes to pass, and I think we're going to get official word probably in the next couple weeks here. We have to know before free agency opens, just common sense wise, right? But if this actually happens, I think it changes the dichotomy of the offseason for the Seahawks. Now, don't get me wrong, this affects every team. Every team will have more cap space than they thought if this happens. But it means more to a team like the Seahawks that is right up against the ceiling as is. In fact, on Spotrac right now, they say we're above the cap floor. And, the cap ceiling. So this gets us under it by about $6 million, theoretically, just right off the bump. So this would be a very significant, a very important development. And the difference between having like 25 million in cap space instead of 17 million in cap space, just to give two hypothetical numbers, is huge. It's definitely a lot bigger than like the Bears. The Bears are a team who thought maybe they were going to have 80 million. Now they have 88. Like it's nice, but it's not nearly as big of a difference when you compare it to a team like the Seahawks that are scraping for every penny they can get to try to get under this cap. And also, the other angle here, and this is something that I haven't spoken about very much, but I probably should be, rollover. So the Seahawks actually rolled over more than $7 million of cap space from 2023 to 2024. And when you take a look ahead at 2025, there's going to be some pain. Like, we've got some monster cap hits coming in on some of our players in 2025. And we're going to be able to get out of it if we want to. But 2025 is not looking so great for the Seahawks in terms of cap space as of right now. Just putting it out there, just saying. And if they could roll a significant amount of cap over to 2025, because the idea is the money you don't spend gets rolled over, that will alleviate that. That will make it less necessary for us to maybe make some painful cuts next year. Like, what if Draymond Jones has a monster season? Are we going to be looking to cut him when his big cap number comes up next year? Maybe not. Depends on how he plays, but it gives us a little more flexibility to maybe say, you know what, let's just roll forward with a Draymond. What if a guy like a Geno Smith has a monster year and we didn't extend him? He's on that last year of his deal going into 2025. The big money kicks in, and the good rollover would mean we would then have the freedom to say, hey, we don't have to do anything about this right now. Same with a guy like a DK Metcalf. We don't have to make a decision on DK quite yet if we roll over enough money. So what you might see the Seahawks do is take this extra money and not spend it, and either spend it at the trade deadline, like they've done in previous years, if they feel like they're ready to go for it, or they just sit on it, let it go over to 2025, and then make some kind of decision with their expensive players that are coming due next year. So a couple different ways this can work for us. But this is pretty significant, and this is indicative of where the NFL is headed, and ultimately this is why you're seeing the contracts that you're seeing. This is why Dak Prescott might get $60 million a year. Sounds ridiculous to us. It does. That Dak Prescott's getting paid significantly more than a couple of quarterbacks who are clearly much better than him. But the cap goes up like this, and these players are looking at it as a piece of the pie. The pie keeps getting bigger, so the slice they take is bigger, but there's still more pie left. So understand when you're looking at these contracts how it's getting affected by this absolutely ridiculous amount of salary cap growth. All right, so just wanted to take one video to talk about that because this is significant. This is very big for the Seahawks, and when the actual number comes out soon, I'm hoping that it is around $250 million because the Seahawks are one of the teams that benefit the most. The teams that have massive cap space or a massive cap deficit, $7-8 million feels like a little bit of a drop in the ocean, but for a team like us that is right at the cap floor or ceiling, excuse me, I don't know why I keep saying floor, it could mean everything. All right, I will see you guys later. Go Hawks. More right guard videos coming a little later today. Let me know what you think about this. And look, if Amazon gets their hands on Sunday Ticket, I don't know if that's going to happen this season or next season. If that ever happens, cap might go up massively in one offseason. We could see a $300 million cap before you know it. All right, catch you guys later. Go Hawks.